All right, let's go on to our next topic. Steve,
Yes. What was my topic?
what is your topic?
Star Wars.
Ba, 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 ba. Yeah.
Okay.
Ian, what
anyways.
song were you singing?
Okay.
I was like
wanted
in
to
the middle of the song.
I wanted to start this off. Like, I know you guys loved it. Did you guys hate it? Was there certain things you guys wanted to change? I just wanted to throw this in there. I love the movie, but I can't help but feel like it was episode 4. That's probably why I loved it so much, because it was like the same exact movie as episode 4.
That's what a lot of people are saying as well. Like when you read the reviews, there's the biggest criticism to Star Wars: Force Awakens is that it takes a ton from A New Hope and Empire.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same exact movie, but I still loved it. I'm not gonna like downgrade it at all or anything. But
What do you give it out of 7.5?
7.5.
Yeah,
7.5.
you give it a 7.5 out of 7.5.
Yeah.
7.4.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 for sure.
Yeah, 5 out of 7.
It was
No,
a good movie, but how does someone, that is supposed to be so great and have this epic power, get hit by a lightsaber by someone that just picked it up? Like, that was my one
He
thing.
got shot by Chewie's fucking bowcaster thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the gut.
In the gut. And not only, like, for the last, like, the previous 45 minutes of that movie, they just show people getting shot by that thing and, like, go fucking flying.
Yeah.
So it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that he just took it like a champ and was just like,
And
just
still
had to drop
fighting?
to a knee and still fought was, like,
Yeah.
pretty impressive,
Th-
actually.
I disagree, and I think they made a pretty good, like, the reason why he was able to be, like, and Finn didn't last long either. He was taken out really quick.
Yeah.
And so, but he did his damage, like, he got him cut a little bit, right? And so, like, it made sense that when Rey came up to Ren, they actually were almost on even ground.
And not only that, but Finn is like a stormtrooper since birth, or not birth, but like whenever they got
Combat
him, like
specialist.
a child. And
Well,
so he's been fighting, like.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a lightsaber.
Lightsaber. Not only
Lightsaber's
that,
just
but
a
he's trying to get
sword.
someone with
But
the
if
Force.
if
so.
they have that guy that has the baton thing, that he fights earlier, the other stormtrooper, that has a baton that's made to withstand lightsaber stuff. They must have trained them to fight people like in that kind of
that's
combat,
true.
Yeah. There's vibroblades, which is a type of material that.
but not in the movies, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good call. I don't know if that's expanded universe or not. What is that?
It's a list of questions that I have. So many fucking questions.
Okay. Go ahead. Start
Okay.
with your questions.
All right. There might be spoilers, but I don't know if you guys don't care about it. You guys
no,
probably
we
already
were-
know.
This is not going to be out till February.
All right.
I think 2 months is enough.
I don't care. But
Yeah.
who is Rey? Daisy Ridley. I mean, is that supposed to be like Luke's daughter?
No,
We don't know.
That's a
Obi-Wan's
rumor.
I think it's going to be Obi-Wan's.
That's the other rumor.
Like,
I hope
Obi-Wan's daughter?
I hope she's
Granddaughter.
related to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That was
Me too.
well. That was the other thing too. Like we were talking. Me and Amber were talking about something, but she said something like maybe it's like Leia's daughter or something or whatever. I don't know. Not Leia's daughter, but
Far shot. Yeah.
someone
I-
else's daughter. But anyways, I was like, also that was my other question was how far into the future is this movie?
30 years.
Like,
30
So it's
years.
30 years. Okay. So like I'm trying to think even if it's Obi-Wan's daughter, that would still be
Granddaughter.
too old.
Yeah,
Oh, granddaughter. Okay,
Granddaughter
so
is what I'm
daughter.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm thinking
gotcha.
granddaughter.
So
And-
for me, like, so the expanded universe, Rey's character was actually the sister of Kylo Ren. Now they could go that way, which would describe why Han Solo kind of took to her so quickly, and why Leia has this like look to her. Like, I don't know, but that I almost don't want to happen. That feels a little too.
It's
weird.
already happened, yeah. And I think that's already
Yeah.
happened with the whole, Luke and everything, so...
Exactly. Now they
Like-
could be Luke's daughter, but that also feels a little bit too obvious, and I don't want.
Like, yeah, why is everybody that's a Force user in this fucking universe, like, related to the same goddamn
Exactly.
family?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so why even like Obi-Wan, which is the best of the three there, I actually would prefer if she's just a nobody. Like
Yeah,
like her
that would be the coolest if she was a nobody.
Yeah.
She even says that. That's kind of funny. In the trailer,
Well, that-
remember, she's like, "Who are you? I'm nobody," or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's how what's it called? Anakin was he was just birthed out of
No, I don't mean it
had
like
no
that.
father.
I don't
Oh,
mean it
okay.
like that. I just mean that like she's just her family is this other like it feels like the only families in this giant fucking universe are the Solos and the Skywalkers and the Obi-Wans. Like There should be some new blood, and because it makes sense. Like
I don't think it's gonna go that way though, because like they showed too much emphasis on the movie, like her getting dropped off, and it seems kind of like Kylo Ren or whatever knows her. Like he's saying,
sure.
I like you know what I mean. Like there's almost like this kind of rival. And the other thing too, I was wondering is like, does it come that natural, like the Force? Like she has no training whatsoever. And
well, you
like,
don't know that she doesn't have any training. We have not seen 2 more movies in this series. Like we might be looking back at Episode 7 and be like, oh, it all makes sense now.
So she's like playing it off then. So is that what you're saying?
No.
She's like playing it off. Like
she is probably okay. Here's my theory.
Doesn't remember the training.
She probably took training with Luke. She's
that's
probably
what I'm
done that
thinking.
training. Okay. Then for whatever reason she was dropped off on this planet, maybe had like her memory wiped or something like with the Force, so she doesn't remember that.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah.
And then I told Clay this the other night, and this is a theory that Yukiko told me, and this is probably far-fetched, but what if Rey is the one who killed all of the Jedi that Luke was training, and she did it either with Kylo Ren, or he's covering for her, so he took all the bad title because he like was like her friend or something, and then she had her memory wiped, and then it'll be revealed later that she was actually like the one that killed everybody, and that's why they had to like remove her memories.
She was like a 7-year-old girl though.
But so would Kylo Ren probably would have been too. But that's like when they start training as
no. If you
Jedi.
look when he killed them, he looked like he was in his late teens because he was as tall as everybody else with a lightsaber, as tall as Luke. Remember the flashback?
They look like they're about the same age, is what I keep getting from the look in the movies.
Same here, and I actually think that's deceiving because I actually think he's much older than her.
You think so?
Yeah, but which is a problem in my opinion because they do look the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe they are, and maybe you're right. Maybe
I feel like she's still in her 20s, like or whatever now, and he's like in his.
I think she's almost supposed to be like you know when you Game of Thrones, Daenerys looks like she's like 25, but she's actually supposed to be playing a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, I think in the show they never specify how old she is.
But
right?
in the book,
well, in the book, but I think that's the thing. I think they had to make everybody older for that reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they couldn't have like 12-year-olds like fucking in the castle or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that would be a little interesting.
What if Rey was dropped before that happened? I mean, okay, so maybe
that's possible too.
Age,
yeah.
In which case she was dropped before that would happen. You know what I mean? There's something weird. I think there's just a little hole in that theory in that like she'd have to be really young to assist before being dropped off and mind wiped, or taken. And I don't know. There's some.
Well, what if she's that strong though? What if she is that strong that even as a child she was like.
Right. Know. That's the thing. That's what I was thinking is because. You know, Rian Johnson is the guy that did Looper, is doing the next one. And that was kind of the theme in Looper was this little kid that was like crazy powerful and like could kill people all the time. Yeah. So like maybe that's why they got him, because they wanted to go along that storyline again.
Damn. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Well, she's just like Force like crushing everybody around her or something, you know.
I was also going to ask too, what's the difference between a stormtrooper and an Imperial trooper? Like I thought all stormtroopers were clones.
No,
and then these people are like they look different. That's what I'm saying. Like and like they're genetically enhanced. I don't.
So they mentioned this in the movie. Kylo Ren is pissed off at the fact that Finn defected and all this other stuff, and he's like, you know, if you used the clone troopers, we wouldn't have this problem. And he's like, and then the general responds snarkily like, I handpick all of them from birth, and they're brainwashed and trained. He has a different, like I believe there's still a clone.
There's probably both.
But exactly.
There's still clone troopers out there.
So there are clone troopers.
I think so. Well, that's what it means.
Because like I was getting like the kind of like idea that there was still like the stormtroopers, but they were like on something else, and like then they have the Imperial. Like you know how like there was the Empire. I guess now this is like different Imperial, like because they even kind of look different. The suits, you know what I mean?
I think
so,
they might have just done that to be like more updated. I mean, 30 years have passed. Maybe the suits have been improved or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that there's still like you can still get like a clone army if you want to buy one. It's still like a purchasable like commodity basically.
So like I was just getting the fact because I haven't seen any of the other ones. Like all the other troopers don't look like Finn.
Probably not. No.
Okay, so that's what I was.
We don't even know if all of them are human. Actually.
I mean, exactly. That's a great point. And Captain Phasm is a girl. Like there's
yeah,
there's no cover up there, right? Like, so females are now in like that. So she's gonna look unique. She'll look like Bryn of Tarth, right? Like if they ever take that helmet off, which I doubt they will, but yeah,
I think they will.
Yeah, I mean they could. But yeah, I think that sect, that general, I forget his name, but
General Hux.
Hux, yeah, Hux's crew is all taken from birth.
And also, any of you guys seen that coming? Because I seen that coming.
What?
About Han Solo dying.
You mean Han Solo?
It's Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Not Hand.
Hand.
I actually had it spoiled for me.
Oh,
3
you
days
did?
before the movie came out.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna die.
When he
when he walked out on the bridge, I'm like, he's gonna get thrown off.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
So that's why I wasn't like too sad, but it sucked like the whole movie. I was waiting. I was like, okay, like I know he's gonna be killed, and I already know it's his son, and like I knew both of those things going into the movie, that it was his son that was gonna kill him. That was that was the spoiler I saw. It was basically an image of the lightsaber sticking through Han, and it said, Han Solo is killed by his son. It was like on Facebook,
man.
and I was like, holy shit. So I came home that day, and I was like, Yukiko, like I think I just had Star Wars spoiled for me. And it was like a Tuesday or something before it came out, so like a few days before the actual movie came out.
Oh, serious.
What a dick.
And I was just
that
yeah.
person's a dick.
Yeah, that person is a dick, so I unfriended him and everything, but like, I was just like, I think it had it ruined. And then when they revealed that it was his son in the movie, I was like, yeah, it's definitely going to happen then. Like, I was hoping it was just like some fan-made, doctored up photo or whatever, but I was like, shit.
I went through all 5 stages of grief within that couple of seconds. Like,
really?
I felt...
Yukiko did too, yeah.
Right? Like, I felt he was going to kill him. And I was like, no, I was in denial. I was like, he's going to be redeemed. This is amazing. We're going to see a redemption story with a Sith. We've never seen that before. It's going to be so cool. And then I was like, and then he did it. And I was like, yeah, fuck, why would you do that? I got angry. And then I was like...
I was like, if the movie ended right there, I'd have been like... It would have been like, fine. Like, it was almost kind of hard to enjoy the rest of the movie after that. Because I was still in shock. Like, how can the fucking one of the main characters get killed? You know what I mean? Like, I was just
they're getting old, so they have to get rid of them.
Yeah,
we gotta
well, they should have got rid of Leia, not fucking Han.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just get rid of Leia.
Also, her
I could
role
deal
in
with
the
that,
movie
Leia.
was poop. I didn't really... She was just awkwardly used, I think.
Well, I liked... Back to when Han gets killed, I really liked the lighting they did for that. Like when it's like split like white or grayish and then like red on one side, and then like the sun dies out, and then he like decides he's gonna kill him, and like it's just red on his face, and then like he's done, like the evil is like in him or whatever, and he just like turns the lights on. That was really cool. I mean, it's like kind of heavy-handed, but it was like effective.
Yes. That's a really great way to describe that, because I did feel it was heavy-handed, but like it worked
I think the whole movie
well.
in general, that was my biggest issue, is it was a little heavy-handed with a lot of stuff, like the nostalgia, like the throwbacks to the originals. Like I totally could have got on board with it being a recap or reboot of Episode 4, like New Hope, if only they didn't do a Death Star again. Because like if the whole point, if the whole point could be like the stakes aren't like that important, it could have been a battle, just to have like these kind of characters fighting and everything. Like, why did they have to do a Death Star? Why couldn't they just do like a new, like inventive, like fight on a planet or whatever, like in a jungle?
It was bigger.
Like, small, but that's the thing. Like even in the movie, they're like making fun of the fact that it's like another Death Star. So it's just
there's always some way to beat these things,
right?
Like,
exactly. It was a pretty badass Death Star, though.
It looks cool when it was like badass, like, but it's just like. If the whole means was just to have like an area to fight for these people and like have a space battle and also a ground battle, like why have to do it on a Death Star, especially when there was like 8 X-wings like total or something, like destroy the whole planet. Like they could have just made it a way more intimate, smaller scale battle. And I think it would have been a little cooler.
All right.
Agreed.
I know we're going to keep talking about this too, but I also had another two. I really like that new guy who's a pilot.
Poe.
He's a pilot.
Oh yeah,
Poe.
he's awesome.
I like him.
Dude,
you didn't like Poe?
I like the fact that he wasn't like he's not like
he's the new
a Jedi. He's not like a Jedi, but like, he's
to your knowledge, he's not a Jedi.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, so he is a Jedi then?
Two more movies, man. We don't know.
There is
Okay,
a rumor that Poe and Rey are brother and sister.
Of course.
Fucking A. What is with this goddamn...
Well, I'm just saying because
Name matters.
Because the
he was
idea,
awesome.
if you
Like-
remember when Rey is describing who dropped her off, the person has orange, and if you look at in her hut, she has a little X-wing pilot figure, like on her little like thing.
Orange?
Easter
Wait, what?
egg.
Yeah. So you know the X-wing suits that are orange jumpsuits with the.
Yeah.
If you look when she's like lifted, you see the person's like orange flare.
Huh. So.
Oh, I thought it was just shows. It shows Ankar Plutt holding her, and then there's just a spaceship flying off in the distance.
I'm pretty sure the hand she's holding, you see a bit of orange.
That's the guy that gives her like the rations.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's that
Finn
guy.
could be possibly a Jedi then too.
Yeah, that's actually I want to ask you guys that if you guys
Because
think
like
it's a Jedi.
I was
Yeah,
like
so.
listening to that part in the story when he was like I wanted our son to train with Luke along with the other kids or something like that. So there was like a number of other kids or something, right?
Okay.
real quick before we go on there though, hold on. Why did you like Poe and why didn't you like Poe?
Oh.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I didn't like Poe because first of all he was in the movie for like almost no time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
that's
supposed to give a shit about him.
Yeah.
Like he was in the very beginning, and then he all of a sudden is at the very end of the movie and is like, and then the other thing that really bothered me. This is weird, but he's like way too like good, like a good like friendly like chipper dude.
Yeah.
Like when he first
He has no flaws, right?
when Finn like comes up to him and is like, "I'm gonna break you out," they like instantly trust each other, which is weird
That's
because you're in a
nice.
fucking Death Star or whatever, or like Star Destroyer. That's odd. And then they're like flying off, and he's like, "Oh, FN218, that's not good. I'm gonna call you Finn instead." And he's like, "Yeah, I like that. That's great." And then they're like, "Yeah, like, boo," you know, like it's just like I was like, why are they such good friends? Like they've been friends their entire life. They've known each other for like 20 seconds, you know?
Do you think
Well,
that happens
I
in war? Do you think like when you like
I don't know.
you go
I just think again, it was just laid on a little thick. Like
Well,
there's not enough subtlety in the new movie,
Mhm.
and I think that's because like nowadays everybody like expects Avengers style movies where there's like fucking 5 minutes of exposition to explain like why this thing is happening now, and there's not a lot of show don't tell because they have to tell you everything.
Yeah,
well,
the
I liked
nostalgia. Actually, Marvel does nostalgia really well, in that a lot of it's subtle, and there's things that like if you're a hardcore fan, you'll catch.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think with the new Star Wars, like you said, it is heavy-handed and beaten over your head as if you like never knew this thing like you never watched the original or whatever. It's just like
Right. Like, oh, Leia, our son got turned to the dark side and killed all those guys. Like,
Yeah.
why was that so? Why did he turn so bad? Like, his name was Ben. Like, we get
Yeah.
it. Okay, well, we get it, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us.
I want to get to that part too, but like no, I liked the whole aspect that whole
of Poe.
it just seemed of Poe and of Finn meeting each other too, because it almost seemed like Finn was like a newborn child almost, like you know, like everything was new to him, like and everything, and he just like expected trusting, and it kind of went a little bit with it with Poe, because like Poe had just been like, I don't know, like they he did something to him, so like he's already like, I mean, if someone came to rescue me and said they're rescuing me and I just went through what I just went through, and I'll be like, yeah, let's do this, let's go, you know what I mean?
But wouldn't you
And
feel
then-
a little weird that he was like
Well,
a
no,
stormtrooper? And
I
like,
mean,
this could be
not-
like a trap, and he might be taking me to like Kylo Ren right after this.
But the
Exactly.
alternative is that you
Exactly.
stay in.
After what just happened, like he just got all the information out of me, and like I would follow anybody. Like, let's just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like that whole. It was like exciting. They got into the thing. It was just like they were getting into it, and they're like, "Whoa, did you see that?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw that." I was like,
Yeah.
because like it just reminded me like of us almost kind of like playing WoW. Like, did you just see that happen? Yeah, I just saw that. It was fucking awesome. It was like it was so funny. Like,
But
it
we've
was
played
just so
WoW for
exciting.
like years together. They
I
met
know.
within like 5 minutes.
But I know, but like I still like that whole aspect of the thing.
I
But,
definitely
Yeah.
got my adrenaline run. Like I was with them.
Yeah.
in the
yes,
emotions
I
back
was
then.
with
I
them
like,
too. I was just like,
Don't
yes,
get me
this
wrong.
is
Like
awesome.
I still like I've seen the movie 3 times in theaters.
Oh
Okay.
shit. Okay.
Like
I wanna
I
see it
totally
more, too.
enjoyed the movie. I just like I said, everything was just laid on a little too heavy, and it doesn't have quite the gravitas or like subtlety the original
Yeah.
3 do.
Dude,
I-
BB-8 is fucking hilarious. I love that.
Well-
robot.
Yeah, BB-8. Yeah.
BB-8, sorry. I don't say type.
I was gonna say, well, who do you guys like better,
Yeah.
him or R2D2?
Well, R2D2.
Both. I was worried. I was worried that BB-8 was going to be like the replacement And
I know,
had the same thing. I was like, fuck this little thing, you know. Like I wasn't that pissed about him, but like
Dude,
I was just like, like I don't know if I'm gonna like him. And he was pretty cool.
All right, we're gonna go into BB-8 in a second. We're gonna do a two-parter of this. So we'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
And we're back. So the BB-8's personality was so like, I want to say juicy because I think there was just like so much to love about that guy. But it also felt so modern. Like it felt so Pixar-esque, where it was this like bright-eyed like just dude.
Has a lot more
like,
emotion.
you know what I mean?
It's a lot more emotion.
But I think he was supposed to feel like a little baby R2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they did that really well. Like when Finn is talking, he's like, I don't know if I should lie or like, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's the guy. And like, he's kind of like cowering like behind Rey as she's trying to like, interrogate for the jacket. Like,
You know and then he gives him
like,
the thumbs up lighter. That was so cool.
Oh, dude, I was dying. I was dying. That was so funny.
Like, he's just such a, and then like, he's holding on, you know what I mean? Like while the thing's going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
that was hilarious. Yeah.
He's such a wonderful, and then like his astonishment, you know, you felt without words that he knew about R2-D2 and this legend, and was just like, oh my god, this is him.
The same way Luke is like a legend to them.
Yeah.
Like R2 is like a legendary droid.
And it was so like innocent as a world gets thrown around with a lot of these characters, because I think they definitely like start with the innocence of heroes, and then the call to action and the resistance, but eventual like change.
I loved how he didn't have to say anything. Like you knew what he was thinking. Like remember he was like looking. He was like, who?
Yeah.
Who?
What? Yeah.
Who? He's like, he's going back and forth. Like, should I lie? What's going on? Like I love that part.
Another thing. This is a different segue, but Rey, I think, not only does Luke know who she is, like, you guys got that feeling that Luke already knew her when she showed
of course,
up?
Yeah.
So not only does Luke know her, but Han and Leia do, as well as Kylo Ren, because I think R2 was left to trigger when she showed up, because Luke probably knew like that she was gonna like have to be the one to come find him. Yep. And so probably set up R2 to like go off when she showed up again to get the final part of the map so she could come to him.
I would like to talk about that for a minute, because I struggle with that concept, because there was like because it felt so happenstance. This thing was happening, and it was just like, oh, and here's Rey, and that's cool. When we know about her, and now we're gonna use her, as opposed to, holy shit, this is happening. Let's go get that kid who we left and was like placed purposely for this very reason. It was just like, if Han knew about her, why didn't he like speed up the process of finding the lightsaber and finding like R2? Like, it just felt like, oh yeah, maybe I'll take you on as a crew member, maybe I won't. I don't know.
Because maybe that's part of the ploy. Like, you don't want her to know that, because she doesn't know what her history is. She doesn't know where she comes from.
Well, there was no
triggers. Just, like,
there was no triggers either. Like when she was telling him about her and everything like that, there was nothing like a little like quip like where he was like, oh, that's who she is. You know what I mean? Like he just was talking to her regularly.
Yeah, like when he's like,
I don't think he knew who she was.
I got that feeling too.
He knows about Unkar Plutt, like the guy that was like had the Millennium Falcon or whatever. Like he knew that was like who might have had the Millennium Falcon at one point. You know, like he wasn't thrown off when she said like who had it.
Yeah.
To me, I took that as Han Solo being around this universe for a really long time and knowing all the dudes, and he was like, of course that guy got my guy, because he was looking for it, and he didn't know exactly until they told him. He's like, oh yeah, dude,
that's how they turned it on. That's how they turned it on.
I don't know. I really, you know what I think? So here's my vibe is that Leia and Han, like that interaction we saw was more of a Force connection to it than, you know how like when you meet someone you just have that like vibe, you're like, man, it's like felt like I know you for a long time, or that you're family or whatever. I got the feeling that these guys just had this Force or family kind of vibe to them. Like, man, I just naturally gravitate toward this human, as opposed to knowing them or them being the daughter. Because that's the other thing is like if Rey is Han and Leia's daughter, there's a lot that they did wrong as parents. Like, there's one thing to let Ren do his thing.
I feel like it can't be. I feel like it can't be Han and Leia's child.
Exactly. You're gonna die as a father without telling her you're like what, or Leia. Like, I
hope it's either Obi-Wan's granddaughter or whatever, or she's just a new person that like had Force sensitivity that's like powerful.
Yeah.
A new family.
And I don't know. And like honestly, like there's suggestions, but there's nothing guaranteed that Luke knows her either. Like he definitely. his reaction can be.
I think he knows her. I think he has to.
In a vague way, though, is what I'm saying. Because, like, when she presented him with it, he's like, it has happened. Like, I knew someone would come.
Yeah.
And I knew this day would come. But, like, there's nothing to concrete say. I knew you. I was waiting for you. And, you know, now that you're here, let's do this. Because, again, why not go and get her? Like, it was so... If they knew so much about her in detail, it just seems odd that a lot of these things that happened...
Because they had to wait for an awakening in the Force.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But I think Luke knew someone.
No, I think it's serious. Like it literally had to wait for that, like, whatever trigger to happen for her.
That's leaving a lot to chance.
Snoke, like, even comments on it, like with Kylo Ren. He's like, I felt an awakening, like, in the Force. You know, like.
That's the other thing I was gonna ask. Who's Snoke?
We'll get that. Well, hold on. We'll get that.
Stupid ass CG character. Like, god damn it.
Yeah, like I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
When I said get to it in a minute, I didn't do that. I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't mute
shut him up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Alan.
Jesus.